Hello there and welcome. Well, it's 6 o'clock, so it's time to launch a brand new one-day special. I am really excited about this one because it is phenomenal value for money. You know how I love it to bag a bargain. Well, look at the details that are on your screen already. You've got a huge saving with this one-day special. £60 saving, and it is an incredible deal that I love the look of here. And you wait till you see the size of this sheets of paper that I'm sharing with you here. But we've got a fabulous guest with us, the lovely Charmaine. And I have to say, I've been watching you on social media and loving what you've been doing with these.
Well, upcycle, recycle, mix cycle, bit of stitching, bit of stamping, bit of glitter, bit of glue.
Well, this is it, because they're just so incredibly versatile. I think that's the key thing with these. And they're huge as well. Can I just show you? That is just one of those pieces. You're actually getting 30 of those. Now, they're huge. The dimensions on your screen, they're 32 inches by 22 inches. They are massive, and they are beautifully handmade papers, which gives them all personality, I would like to think. You get little flecks of colour running through these.
Yeah, I'm not giving them names, though.
Oh, no, definitely not. Definitely not.
They are touchy-feely things, aren't they? When I used to display them in the shop, was on a stand very similar to the one that we've got at the side there.
Easel, yeah.
And draped it over, and you'd get customers coming in and their hand would be coming in first. Yes. It's definitely a touchy-feely thing.
Definitely. Now, with this one, you're going to get 30 sheets. You're going to get 15 different colours, 2 repeats of each of them. Contents will vary, so you might not get exactly the same colour variants that we've got here, but you will have at least 15 different colours featuring in this with, as I say, all their personalities. And that's where you get all these little flex element that you've got in here. We are busy for these. You're realising just what incredible value for money these are. Because usually we'd be paying probably around £3 a sheet for these, wouldn't we, Charmaine?
Yeah, I used to sell them at £3 a sheet. I don't sell them anymore. I only sell them here, so they are exclusive to the craft store.
Well done, you got it, you got it. I love it. And the thing is, I mean, even looking on the street, if you're a Freedom member, you are getting these delivered to your door for £29.97. Now, I'm not being funny, Charmaine, these are pretty hefty papers.
They are.
They're going to be quite weighty.
If I was to post out 10, which I have done obviously in the past to the girls, it's usually cost me just over £7 to post 10 sheets out.
Wow. And this is 3 times
hence why they're not on my website.
She's not daft, you know. Now, these are incredible. They are flying out. If you like it, I've not even got to the end of them yet. I'm still going, still going, still going. And the beauty is these can be changed as well. You'll see all sorts of textures through these just as they come, but they're incredibly versatile. You can stitch through these, you can die cut them, you can paint them, you can ink them, you can spritz them, use all your texture mediums on them, book bind with them, turn them into books. There are so many things that you can do with these. I know Charmaine's got some amazing demonstrations coming up as well. I love stitching through these, I must admit.
Yeah, they're pretty fab to stitch on. Many years ago, I did a piece which I'd got a lot of free motion stitching.
Oh, nice.
And I sold it for what? Oh, gee.
Charmaine is letting the cat out of the bag. We are very, very busy. 20% of the stock has gone. Now, they're beautiful as they are, but have a look at the kind of things that you can be doing with these. You can really get very artistic with these. This is before we start looking into those 3-dimensional aspects, because they're so sturdy, you can use them in all sorts of different ways. And this, Charmaine, this is a beautiful piece.
It is. It's almost like a fabric, isn't it?
Yes.
And once you put, oh, you're talking about, I'm not even looking.
Oh, bless you. Keep up with me, love.
Now, you've seen this one before.
I have, I love it.
I brought it in before to do with inspiration from something. And I've stamped on it, I've used embossing powder on it, I've stitched through it. There's no glass in it because I broke it when I moved. And there is 2 under the counter by your legs as well, which do match each other. I do like those ones. So you can change the colours. So if you get, say you get in there a brown and you don't want a brown, then you can put metallic paints on top of it and it soaks in beautifully. Yeah. I've used sweetie wrappers on it. There's sari threads on there. Yeah. There's, you know, like your glue pens that you get, the raised ones with the little pearly dots. Yeah, loads of those on it. You throw your Angelina in there and mix it all in. All sorts of bits and pieces.
Are incredibly
I mean, you've seen my book.
Well, this is it, and this is the thing, because I know how you love your books, I know how you love your book binding, your journals, using your dies to create all your pages and everything. This is incredible. I mean, it's got the durability, but the beauty of this is obviously it's a paper, but it behaves like a fabric, so when you're bending it round, you don't get that cracking, do you? You can see how you've got that lining underneath there. Seamless, absolutely beautiful.
it gives you a bit more movability with it as well. So when you're using paper to cover something, you've really got to get the creases out, just like wallpaper pasting. But with this, with it being textured, it gives you a little bit of leeway for buckling and things. And if you do get an airlock in there and a little bit of bubble, you can keep that crease in and it looks like it's meant to be there, because then you can go with your inks and things over the top.
And the fluidity, I mean, look at this. I don't want to scrunch it up, although you could, and it could bounce back quite easily. But look at that. You've got the stitch detail, embroidery. You've got some fabulous kind of vintage style ribbons featuring in here. So stitching through it, not just hand stitching, but as you say, free motion you can be doing on a machine as well, with all those fabulous pages that are in there. I need to give you a stock update. We're supposed to be going straight over to demonstrate. I think we might need to be honest, as well. So, originally, I was meant to tell you a quarter of the stock had gone, but then we started chatting with Charmaine. So now it's how much? A third of the stock. 6 minutes in. My goodness, wow. I think you're realising the value for money that you've got with this one. A £60 saving, £29.97. Dare I say, because we've got such an amazing deal, if you're wanting to go for multiples of these, you can do. It's not limited to one per customer. And when you're getting a deal like this one, you do not want to miss out. You certainly don't want it to run out. So that's why I would say to get a couple of these. Contents will vary with them. You're going to get 15 different colours, 2 repeats of each of those, but absolutely amazing value for money. We're going to come straight over to you, Charmaine, if that's okay. We are
let's stop the sales.
Not at all.
Slow them down.
We want to see what we can do with these.
Okay, I'm going to attempt to make a bag. It's obviously going to be partially done, but it's really, really simple. And even if you're not a stitcher, you can do this.
Oh, okay.
So you could not do the stitching that I've added to it. You could glue it if you wanted. So I will be doing like card making, altered projects and things. I'll actually show you different things that you can do with it as we go through the show. So I've got a little purse thing. Now this now belongs to somebody else who's commandeered it, so I have to make another one quick. Okay, so it's got a little fastener on here, and you could add another bit to it, but you'll see as the process goes. So that's what I'm aiming for, so you get to see what I'm going to do first.
Okay.
So don't just think of this as bag making, because it is so much more. So what I've got here is I've got a piece of acetate, and I've put an A4 double-sided sheet on the on top of the acetate.
Like the sticky sheets?
Yeah, you know, like what what's the name does on a roll? What's she called? Elizabeth Crass does on the roll, wide one, like that. So now what I've got, if we look at the sizes that I'm actually going to use, and compared to the sizes that you've got there. So you've got a big sheet, and I've taken a small chunk of it. So this is what I usually do with my waist. Okay, so
this is a lot of bags.
So I will actually show you something that I've made with a full sheet in a minute. So what I've done is I've taken them into little squares, and I'm going to glue them down, and I'm going to go speed crafting and talking at the same time. So I've got some mixtures of colours. I don't want them all the same size. I don't want them all perfect rectangles, because I'm not a perfect straight person. So we're going to have, I've just put a piece of, I'm going to move the white because I can't actually see where I'm going.
Kind of mismatch these.
Now, when I'm gluing them down, I'm gluing them off the edge so I can trim the edges to make that nice and neat, and mishmash my colours in. Now, if you want to, you can stamp up on top of these. You can ink them up, you can spray them, you can spritz them, you can emboss on them. You can take your inks, your lotions, your potions, and stick them on top as well. So they make them all look a little bit different. So if you were to run some paint sticks over the top, you're going to get the effect of, you know, look how sturdy that piece is. Is it too?
No, it's about like embroidery stitches.
I mean,
you could be using these in the same way. I mean, so many of you love our embroidery shows with the flowers and your French knots and all that kind of thing. Little beads going into these as well. Amazing.
I've just I've cut this just a little bit skinny, so I'm going to take it to the edge, to the edge, and I'll fill in the gap with something else. I don't want to fill in the edge, reason being, because that's going to get more abuse. I'm not going to swear at it, but it's going to get more, you know, abuse is the only word I can think of. Right, so now I'm going to trim these down. So I've roughly cut these out to, what would you say, about 4 inch by 4 inch, or less, 3 inch by 3 inch, something like that, squares. But you can do this with your scraps. And I'm just randomly
talking about scraps, I mean, I've got this fabulous bowl. If you follow Charmaine on social media, you'll have seen her working with this. This is incredible. Die-cut butterflies all put together, but again, these could be scrap little elements that you're using and you're saving, and you're cutting them out as you go. Keep them all in one stash together, and then of course put it around a mould, maybe like a plastic bin. You remember the like papier-mâché with the balloons that you used to inflate a balloon and stick everything on the outside and then burst the balloon? That's a similar sort of scenario, but using something like a plastic bucket or a plant pot. And please don't think that it is just for your three-dimensional. Have a look what Anne-Marie has done with this. She's stamped on it, she's coloured it. Absolutely incredible. See, this is where you can take your stamp. Sometimes it's tricky stamping onto fabric because you've got to have the right inks, you've got to have the right fabric. But the beauty of this is it's a paper, but it behaves like a fabric. So think about all your incredible Dolly Dimples stamps that you've got, and then you're wanting to add additional detail by stitching it. Well, you can do with these. Now, Charmaine's just grabbing more of those papers because you're making up a proper little kind of patchwork effect. Yeah,
what I'm actually doing here is I just suddenly thought I want a long strip. So you know when we're using the bits up, we usually end up with a long strips, and because I've not actually used my bits, because I've used my bits on other projects, I didn't have as many bits to use, so I've just done square pieces. That sounds like I'm rambling. I am rambling. And I want a long piece. Now, what I've got here is, if I turn this one over, it started off life like this. Okay. So just, you know, a plain lovely blue.
Yeah.
And what I've done is I took spray glue and I spray glued it, and then I put embossing powder on. Now, when you put embossing powder on the handmade papers, it doesn't stay shiny, unless you keep putting more on. So if I bring this one over, I can show you.
This is ingenious.
You want me to show?
This is so clever. Many of us will recognise this when Charmaine opens it, but I think it's such a brilliant way of recycling.
This is the one that I did in the live. I started it in Crafting Together with All Brands, and as you know, when you do lives, you could do a project really quite quickly, but we get chatting.
We do, yes, yeah.
And I stop and have to read, and everybody chats with each other. It's a right little good community. So if I turn it round and I open it up, and and it isn't finished, and I've left it unfinished because I like to do things like this, not because I like to have unfinished pieces and lots of UFOs, because I like you to be able to see how easy and how it was done. So I open this up, I used one full sheet and had a little bit left of the blue, and then on the inside, now if anybody's tuning in now, they're going, what the heck is she showing me? Well, I'm showing you a package that we get through our door. We call them book wraps. And when they come to you, they come not covered like this, and they have an extra little piece on. Now, if you're a bit weird like me, you could actually go in carefully and remove that bit, so you've got that flat
now that
you know, like Christmas presents.
Well, we've never thought of it before, but when you realise that you can actually turn it into something that's very usable.
I know, I was looking at it, I thought, ooh. All I've done is straighten that jagged edge off, and then I turned this into 2 lives. So the first live started off in Crafting Together with All Brands, and then the second one ended up in the Dolly Dimples Crafts one to finish it off. And when I finished it off, I was using a tiny little piece, a little bit like when you're doing the edge of your fabric. What do you call it?
Like the sashing and the binding.
Yeah, binding. Yeah, like your bias binding round the edge.
Binding tool
I'll tell you what,
if you press it.
It was dead easy. It was really easy. But yeah, if I'd have had a binding tool, which, do you know what?
I
think I've got one. I think I've got one. Why didn't I use that? I was just bending it with my hand. But when I would come to do the corners, I started off doing mited corners round here, and then I thought, you know what, I'm going to try it. And you just bend and manipulate, and you can, you know, like felt. And I got really good at it. So all I need to do to finish this off is glue this bit here, and glue it down there. I didn't do these bits because you're not going to see those bits. And then I got giddy, and you see it's like that, and it is. And all I've done is I've punched a hole in, put a little button on with elastic so it goes through, and use an eyelet, you know, and then bang, bang. There it is, and then we can wrap that around, and it's just black, a little bit like knicker elastic really, but you know, whatever, you could use a hair bobble, couldn't you?
Could do,
so,
loads
and
of
that's it covered. So this that's sprayed on here is a glue spray and then embossing powder, and heated it up. Now it's absolutely hilarious because I've got a big sheet and I'm trying to get it back in my tidy tray. Yeah, that was fun. So it's still malleable and it's soaked in. So anyway, back to the demo. I said it was going to be fast. She's talking rubbish. So I want a skinny sliver for in there.
Okay.
So this is what your slivers are good for.
And it's nice as well, being acetate, if you've got like a pattern that you wanted to fill, you could put like a photocopy pattern underneath, couldn't you? And almost like doing an applique onto the sticky sheets.
Yep.
Without having to stitch it down.
And this is one of the things that I love about paper crafts and fabric as well. Yeah. There's so many crossovers. I mean, your paper piecing with your stamps is the same with paper piecing with your fabric as well.
And I'm guessing if you've got any visible areas left, you could sprinkle a little bit of glitter in there, or whatever
or your embossing powder, or your gilding flicks, which happens to be behind me. Did you see what was in my bag of tricks? I brought that much stuff with me. It's unbelievable.
I can snip out things.
So making sure that my edges are sticking over it. So you could use packaging as well, you know, the plastic.
Yeah.
It could be some packaging that you've got, and recycle that and put your sticky sheets on it. And if you didn't have any big sheets, you could just go with your double-sided tape. I'm going to leave that sticking off the edge.
Okay.
And I'm going to keep going with that one. Anyway, when you've completely finished it, so visualise that bit done, you then would turn it upside down like so. You take your scissors or your craft, I prefer scissors with this to the craft knife because it's in pieces.
Yes.
And then we would trim to make it nice and neat.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah. Keeping those leftover bits.
Yeah.
Always useful.
Yeah, because like I said, little tiny slivers, and as you can see, come in handy for this. So you pop them in, and you can put a little bit of glue when you can pop them in position.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right, so I'm going to put that one to one side because I'm just going to rinse and repeat that. You can stamp on it, which we'll probably do later, and I'll turn that into cards instead of a bag, okay? Now, what I've done is I've got another one, and I've put it through the embossing machine, and I've used my entwined circle stencil with the embossing plates. Now, me trying to get my plates organised how to do this, it frees my brains. I do need to actually write it down. So I've done exactly the same process, but can you see here? I've splattered, I think this was metallic paint or a gilding flakes and glue. I think it was metallic paint because it's circular. So you got, now this one here and here, I have used my dies from On the Edge dies. They have some flowers in.
Yes, yeah.
And for another project that's coming up, I popped them on top of a piece of the dark plain red, and I used the ink pad, the Versa Mark ink pad over the top to get the flowers to have embossed on them.
Yeah.
They,
nice, yeah.
And then I lifted that off and I embossed them. So that's a project that's coming up, and they almost look like glass. And these ones, then I put the gold embossing powder on here and heated it up. So that was my negative, and it was just me being tidy and having a twofer. So that's where these have come from. So you can see that you can tweak on it. Then I folded it. So we go over, and the measurements for that are fold a decent chunk, fold a littler chunk. Okay?
I love that. Very scientific then.
Yeah, so you know, you've got a flap going over, your flap could be smaller, but because I've actually got, I've used a stiff acetate in there, if my flap was diddy, it'd be going ping, 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 and it'd really cheese me off.
Okay, yeah.
Cheese me off. I can't believe
that
was good. That's not what we're thinking. And then I think with my other one, I used a corner rounder here and here.
Yes.
Not going to be bothered to do that because you know you've got chunk. So corner rounder in there.
Lovely.
So you can see that I've rounded it off. And then the next step is I used a black. No, I like it as it is.
Okay.
We could do faux stitching on there.
Yeah, good
but
point.
I'm going to show you how I got it like that one there. So if we just turn it over, where the emboss is, you need a nice firm pad.
Okay.
And then you're just trying to hit a little bit of the top, but it's going to give it a messy look, so you can reveal some of the pattern underneath.
Yes,
so you see that coming through?
Yeah.
But it must be a firm pad. Your squishy ones just don't do it. Squishy's no good. This is where you need a firm one. So a little bit of a rub over, and it kind of makes it a little bit grungy. So you're either a lover or a hater of that. Hence why I'm only going to do that side. Now I could have, should have, could have, would have used a wet pad gently.
Yes.
You know, a sticky one, and thrown embossing powder on it as well.
Point, yeah.
You get a total different effect as well. So the next process of that is, if you wanted to do it all, so we've got one already done, folded it over. You can see I've then hole punched down the edge here.
Okay, yeah.
If you didn't want to do the stitching, then you could just glue here and here, or you could take another piece and do it like bias binding, where you glue one on there and around, which is how I did the other bag. Does that make sense?
It does indeed, yeah.
Okay, then I did my closure, but before I did my closure, if I bring this one in, because I'm not going to do this, because to me it would be like watching paint dry. I've punched a hole in here, and I've stitched into, what I've done is a plait there, a 4-fold plait with a loop on it to make it. Now you can get buttons and things, so you could just do a loop around and you could stitch a button in. I did put a hole down at the bottom, but I forgot to do the hole. So this is when you need to do your holes. You need to do your holes first if you want to have that type of fastener. If you don't, have an elastic band around it or a bobble.
That's nice.
Oh, that's nice emails.
We've got some lovely emails coming, Charmaine. When you're all done, I will read them out to everybody.
And basically that is it, because the stitch that I've used, and I know that you can go on the net and you can see I've used a blanket stitch and my brain's not quite with it at the moment, so I did it kind of reverse.
But this is the thing, it's again,
I quite like it.
It's quirky, and I
quite like it, because normally with a blanket stitch it starts here, you know, so that'd be nice and straight, and I did it that way around. Oh, I don't know why, I just folded it that way around and I did it, but I quite liked it. And then I thought, should I do the stitching around the edge? And I went, no, you've got lots more prep to do, so it's up to you. You know, you can keep going and keep going. You could do it all in one colour if you wanted it in one colour, but this is a good way to use your scraps.
I love it.
Over to you, Hayley.
Thank you very much. Well, you guys, we are so busy. I'll read these emails to you in just a few moments, but what I need to do is tell you about the one-day special. It is flying out. You have been loving this. It's such an amazing deal, because I'm sure you, like me, have come across these handmade papers, and it's been a case of you kind of have to make choices usually. Because you're paying £3 a sheet, you can't necessarily go for 30 sheets like we've got with the one-day special. Well, on this occasion you can, because the price per sheet is going from roughly £3 down to less than £1 a sheet. That's what we're talking about with the prices here. And it's such a versatile way of crafting. You can use it in your card making, you can use it with your stamping, your journals, you can stitch through it, you can use it with your MDF, you can use it with your bags, your boxes, your notebooks. There is so much you can do with this. It's one of the most versatile mediums that you could have in your stash. But the thing is, you need to be getting hold of it while you've got the opportunity. That £60 saving is not here forever. You only have that up until 6 o'clock tomorrow evening, and that's if stock permits us to keep going with the one-day special. What you're getting is 15 different coloured pages within this particular bundle. They may vary from the ones that we've got here, but you will get 15 and you will get 2 repeats of each of them, which means if you're working on sizable projects, then you don't have to worry, because you'll have 2 pages. So even if it's a large storage MDF box, you will still have enough there for you to work with, which is absolutely incredible. £29.97 will get you all 30 sheets. As I say, less than £1 a sheet, rather than paying just shy of £3 a sheet, which is a good price, to be honest, because you're getting a lot with those sizes there. You can see 32 inches by 22 inches, but 40% of the stock has gone. My goodness, we're not even halfway through the hour. For us to be as busy as this is phenomenal. So if you're wanting yours, the details are on your screen. Now, a couple of people that have definitely gone for these, I have to tell you about the Sam. Lovely Sam. Please tell Charmaine that Sam Lang says that you are amazing, clever lady, especially with these handmade papers. What a fabulous woman / company to work for. And I have to say thank you. Thank you for bringing these. Love it. 10 us in the post, Sam.
Thanks,
another lovely email from Anne as well. Hi all. So pleased Charmaine has bought this paper back. Bought this product from the Dolly Dimples shows before. And that's true. We have seen it out on the circuit, so to speak. It's just fabulous. It has dozens and dozens of uses. A crafter's dream. And that is the phrase of the hour. It is a crafter's dream, because you can use it in so many different ways. I mean, here, look at this, using it on a plastic form, glued in place, with a little bit of a kind of sparkle and stamps and dies being used with this one. Absolutely beautiful. It almost looks like a galaxy look to it, doesn't it? Beautiful. And that's just another of those uses. If you've not got your one-day special in your basket already, then I don't know why you haven't, because it is an amazing deal. There's only one other thing that I would suggest that you do, and I know lots of you have done this already. You've jumped ahead on the website and you're liking your bling, because that's something we've not had a chance to share with you yet. But Charmaine, again, has done an amazing deal for us with regards to your self-adhesive bling. Now, we've got a couple of different choices with regards to these. So, we've got set 1 and set 2. Now, this is set number 1 that we're looking at first. And you've got 10 packs in here for less than a tenner, a £25 saving. Now I've got some boards to share with you, so I'm going to grab hold one of these boards. So set number 1. Charmaine, you're getting loads within here.
I think it tells you on the back here.
Oh, I'll have a look at that.
Thanks,
so
Robert. He counted them.
Oh,
when he's counted these here, is that one got the butterflies on?
It has, yeah, 946
Yeah,
pieces.
he's counted the butterfly as a 1. He hasn't gone in and counted each individual diamontes.
Yes, yeah.
You know, some people do that.
And the same with the numbers as well. The number 4 would be 1.
1, yeah.
Got you.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be a 1 because it's a 4, but it's only counted as 1.
As 1.
You know what I mean. Now you're getting 10 packs. Brilliant. I mean, look at those butterflies. There's so much detail in those. And the borders as well, absolutely incredible. Now, they're not individual elements, so you are going to peel these off as a kind of transparent sticker with all that fabulous detail going onto your project. These, again, some of them are going to be strips that you can snip into. You can use them to follow around curves and corners. I love these borders. These are going to be fabulous on, well, anything, isn't it, if you're wanting to edge it. The gorgeous flowers, again, you can snip into those as individuals, and then the buttons. Absolutely amazing, all those gorgeous colours there. Those are going to be brilliant alongside those handmade papers, aren't they, all those colours. Your lettering, your personalisation, we've seen numbers already where you've got your alphabet there, as you can see, and of course your larger pieces. Now that is set 1. You can see you've got set 2 available as well. So in set 2 you are going to get different elements. So let's introduce you to set number 2. You're going to get your alphabets, you're going to get them on a larger kind of format. So these are nice if you want to do personalisation, maybe just with the initial letter of somebody's name. But in there you're also going to get some beautiful borders. Again, shall I bring the board up? Because it's a little bit difficult to see them with the details that you've got there. But some of these, they're huge, some of these pieces. I mean, these border strips, look at these. Amazing, absolutely incredible. Multicoloured, as you can see, you've got some beautiful kind of AB crystals, incredible amount of sparkle. These ones have got lovely pearls, half moon pearl, half circle flat backed, that's the phrase I'm looking for, little pearls in the middle there. Multicoloured, as you can see here as well, multifaceted, so you are getting all that sparkle. This one, mixture, where you've got your pearl alongside your clear, and then down at the bottom, the AB effect that you are getting from these. It's like a little rainbow of colours coming through. This one at the end, look at the sparkle. My goodness, it looks like it's lit up. And then again, you've got more butterflies in here as well. You've got the large letters. This one, again, you're looking at £9.99, and I think you could be forgiven for going for both sets together because you are saving £25 on each set. Go for both of them, you are saving £50 overall. That is what you call a deal. It's an amazing deal, and the details are on your screen. So if you're wanting to get hold of those, please do so. Again, multiples is the key with this one. You've got set 1, set 2. If you want to double up on any of them, then you can do, but just make sure you're doing it as soon as you can. 058294 if you're wanting to get hold of those. Now, of course, when we see Charmaine, she brings her fabulous characters, the Dolly Divas being the next one that we're going to focus on. And talk about bling. I mean, this stamp set, Charmaine, this was made for bling, this particular stamp set.
Yeah, one of the... Yeah.
That's enough.
One of the demos I've got lined up has got a lot of bling in. But I wanted to bring the bling with the Divas as well because Cheryl did a fantastic sample in one of the books which has got loads of little bling squares in there. I'm just thinking, like, you know, like the broken glass or the glitter balls and things.
They've got tiny little
why
mirrors,
did I
don't
put them on before when they were on?
Wow, you can be forgiven because you brought them to us now. And now the characters are brilliant. You've got a series of characters when you're looking at the Dolly Divas. So these are brilliant. They've all got their own individual names. So this one is Sabrina. You're getting 8 stamps within this particular set. So not only are you getting Sabrina, you're getting the fabulous glitter disco ball. Well, it doesn't have to be glitter. It depends on whether you want to glitter it up or not. The luscious lips on this one as well. You've almost got kind of little astro, well, it's almost like little fireworks going off. It's like a party popper type of effect that you're getting with these ones as well. And then you are getting some beautiful additional detail that you can use around the edges to build up your designs. Now, if you're wanting this particular set, it's just £15.99. So Sabrina also comes with the number there as well. As you can see, that's in a 50s feature on that one. So perfect for those substantial birthdays if you're wanting to celebrate those as well. So 3717 4943. Moving along, the next character that we've got for you, and this one, she's got very 60s style bob. Now this one is peculiar. You're getting 11 stamps within this set, and again a lot of detail. So you're getting a beautiful stamp. I love that large, almost like a it's almost like a paisley sun that you've got there. I love it. It's got that kind of very hippie-ish look to it. And then you've got actually lines featuring there. Can I turn it around just so as you can see? Because you can't, I mean, you've got some beautiful inspiration with the colours, but you can see for your journaling, anything for your note making and things like that. Absolutely brilliant. You've got the characters there, you've got your infill stamps, and of course these cross-pollinate to the other characters very, very easily. And of course you've got your significant numbers featuring in this one as well. Again, $15.99, very affordable, but absolutely crammed full of content, that particular stamp plate, and always a popular one. So 044420, getting 11 stamps in there. There's a lot of stamps. Next one that we've got, and I love this one, I just love Donna's hair. Oh my goodness, to have my hair like this would be amazing. I don't know if I'd get through a door, to be honest, but this is, yeah, definitely OMG hair, isn't it? And I love it because you're going to be able to use it in so many different ways. I love the glasses with these as well. They're proper Dame Edna kind of glasses.
Struggle to remember her name.
Definitely. Those are glasses that arrive before you do, really, aren't they?
They certainly do, yeah.
I love it. Disco diva. I mean, they're all fabulous disco divas, but I just love the outfit on this particular one. Absolutely beautiful. And the beauty is she looks different dependent on the colouring that you choose to use with this. And that's the thing. You can bling up that hair, you can turn it into all sorts of funky colours if you're wanting to. And the beauty is if you're going for Donna alongside the others, then of course you can build up using those fabulous edger dies that we've seen to create your own almost little story of all those little fashion icons, really they are, aren't they? Absolutely beautiful. And of course those additional elements that you've got there which you can use in loads of fun and funky ways. So $15.99 will get you that set of 11, and again it's one that you might add into a collection that you're building, or maybe you're just going to go for them all in one go, because at these prices, why not? $495.766 if you fancy that one. Now the last one that we've got, oh, I think this is the one with the glamour, the beautiful hair that you see there. Again, that little updo, 1980s with a fabulous funky little flower embellishment with this one as well. Scribbles and kind of entwined areas all coming together, and again fabulous characters. And that beautiful idea with this one is you've actually got the facial features as well, so you don't have to use the face if you don't want to, but there is a stamp there. So if you do like to put faces on your characters but you are a little bit nervous about drawing them in place, then you have the opportunity to use the stamp if you wanted to, or just leave them without. It's up to you. $15.99. Farah comes with 14 stamps in that particular set, and at $15.99 very affordable. 074694, and you'll find all of those lovely ladies on the website, along with many other things that Charmaine has brought to us, including those wonderful edge dies. Now we've got a variety of different sets of those, so again there's something that you might be starting off your collection with, you might be adding to your collection, but either way they are fabulous value for money and very versatile as well. Stencil wise, we've got a brilliant pick and mix, loads of choice, and you can choose any three of those for just £14.97. There's all sorts of different styles in there, and it's a useful number to keep a note of so you can come back and revisit that at any time. And don't forget, any of these stencils are going to further enhance those one-day special papers we've been talking about. The entwined circles is one of my favourites on that one, I must admit. You've got roses, you've got the maze, nails and dots, there's all sorts on there. So for whatever project you're working on, whether it's something that's very floral, or whether you've got very much a structure to it, or whether you're just going completely random, you'll find a stencil perfect for your needs there. Pop those into your basket. 047 888 if you're wanting to get hold of those. But we are here because it's 6 o'clock, and at 6 o'clock every single day we launch a brand new one-day special, and this is an amazing one. We always expect a good deal because it's a one-day special. That's what a one-day special is all about. But you don't often get the phrase that you are saving £60, and that is what you're saving on this particular deal. You would normally be paying £3 per piece that you're getting within here, and you're getting 30 of those, which is why you've got that price there of £89.97. And that is a price that you will have seen out there when you've been shopping for these. But what we've actually got is we've got a price that Charmaine and Dolly Dimples have brought to us, where it's brought it right the way down to less than £1 a sheet. Now you're going to get 30 sheets in there. They measure 32 inches by 22 inches, and you've got 15 colours 2 repeats of each. Now the colours may vary, so you might not necessarily get the spread that we're looking at here, but you will get 2 repeats of the colours that you're getting. So you've got nice large pieces, and I like the fact that you can use those and you're getting 2 repeats, because if you've got maybe a large MDF box, or maybe you're wanting to use it on, I don't know, a couple of lampshades, you want to know that you've got enough there for you to cover all the eventualities with your project. So you could quite easily, in fact, if you've got 2 sheets of this, you could probably even make 4 lampshades with these. But what it means is you don't have to double up. Saying that though, the price is on the screen. I've got a feeling that many of you are because it's one of those prices that you don't want to be without these, and at that price, a very affordable way for you to get hold of a couple of them. 876639 if you're wanting to get hold of these. Charmaine, what are we up to next?
Talking of lampshades.
Oh, okay, right.
I'm not doing the lampshade right now, but I'm sort of going to do it in a minute.
Okay.
So I'll just show you the lampshade, and this one, actually Robbie covered it because I was having problems with my hand at the time.
Okay.
Robbie covered it, and he made 2, and there was still loads left over.
Yeah, well,
and
it's
a decent sized
dip,
lampshade.
yeah.
And this is one of our Sarah's, and she loves bling. So it was plain white. She didn't actually have a lampshade, so we revamped some. So really revamped some. And then the base of it is the Pretty Gets Gritty sprays that I've mixed in with some bits and pieces. But I'll show you that in a minute.
Okay, no problem at all. Just pop the details up for those there at the bottom of the screen if you do want to get hold of those.
When it's plugged in, it looks amazing because you see all those flecks.
Yes, yeah.
It really is. He was blown away by it. He was really impressed.
I'm impressed with his creativity.
So what I'm going to use now is I've got a piece of the handmade paper, and I'm just going to show you the process and jump to one that's already done. And I've got the Pretty Whipped Mousses by Pretty Gets Gritty from Lynette Jasper, which I know are on the website. There's loads of lovely colours. And I'm going to put this on with a spatula.
Okay.
And I'm going to leave it kind of raised up. And the stencil, the stencil that I'm using is cells, and put that over the top like this. And we don't have to do the whole image if we don't want to. We can just do some of that, and then I'll scrape off a little bit on the top. There we go. The less faffing about with it, the less likely that it is to shovel the stuff underneath. Does that make sense?
No, that sounds good.
In theory, one swoop would do the trick, but
one swoop is plenty, as they say.
That's the one. So when you've done this, it'll still be sticky. So if you want to add things like glitter into it, and you want to make it shiny, you can do. If you want to add things like gilding flakes on top of it, added texture, you can do where it's still wet. So I'm just going to move that away. So I'm also using the Stamp to Impress.
This is brilliant, this stencil attachment.
And the stencil attachment to go with it as well. So I put that one to one side. So once you've used your stencil, shove it in the water. So I have got a tray of water there. So it's, it's going to pull that off nice and clean. While that's wet, so I'm going to take that off of the gadget. Oops, move your ruler. You plant pot. Right, over you go. And pop that to one side.
Oh, look at that.
And
golden red looks fabulous.
It's got an awesome texture to it, and it's I've put it on quite thick. You see?
Catching the light, yeah.
See that? It's quite thick there. If they bring it to the side as well.
Very nice.
And now I'm going to put some gilding flakes on a little bit and put it to one side. So all your bits and pieces. So I'm going to go with I didn't intend on going with the gold and silver. I wanted to go with the gold, but I can't be bothered to look for it, so I'll go with that. Now we'll do the whole piece in one go, and then I'll press the bits down. And again, if you've got glitter, sprinkle that in as well. So you don't have to, because the other piece that I've got, I've done it a different way because I can. So I'm just going to wipe that off on there because it'll be added texture. Let that dry. Now, how long does it take to dry? We'll put it up high somewhere where you're not going to go to it later and stick your finger in and go, is it dry?
Yes.
No, it's not. So I put that one to one side.
And the paper's quite absorbent as well, so I should imagine it dries quite quickly.
It does. So you can see that this one, I've done the same principle and then added glue to it. So this is the lid. But if I take off the base and I show you this one here, so I've used a different stencil, and then I've added the gilding flakes on, but I did the gilding, I stamped on it first, then the gilding flakes, and then the Pretty Whipped Mousse onto that. So building up texture. And then up the top here, because the handmade paper is quite chunky, when I'm measuring it, which I'll go to my next one, I measure the full length of the box, and then I decorate it, and then I chop it later. So this is the one that I've got done.
And can I actually, the lid, I know you popped it to one side now, but the flowers made from the handmade papers as well, so die cut.
Yeah.
Because they're quite precise, the edges that you've got there.
Yeah, they're die cut flowers, so even the tiny ones, you know, just die cut them. You know the swirly round one?
Yes.
So you could just swirly round with your scissors. I'll show how to do that. I've actually brought the die with me. It's not one of my dies, but you can also just do it with the scissors like a spiral and roll it up. So we'll do that as well. So put that one to one. Yeah, I mean it's.
Gosh, yeah, very
but a blob of silicone at the bottom, and you can beat the living daylights out of it. No, stress relief. So what I've done is I've done a strip. I've got an end that I kept like naked.
Okay.
That's my end to hold where I was doing it, and I kind of measured it roughly. Right. So I will have enough to do this and a piece left to do a card later, because I like my scraps. But I'm not going to cover it all the way to the top. Because if I cover it all the way to the top,
oh yes,
I ain't going to get my lid on.
You're thickening up the lid,
Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure. So I need to just recombobulate myself.
Okay.
One sec, bear with me. Move that over. I'm going to measure and get my cutting finger. Here we go.
So just make it slightly shallower than the actual depth of the box.
Yeah. And I'm doing it with my measuring guide, which is my lid.
That's a very good measuring guide.
And I stick that on because that's obviously what I want. And then I will take my ruler, which is just hiding here. Unclip, unclip. There we go. So, right. So, ooh.
Oh no!
I'm just going to trim this to size. Do you want to do a recap?
I think you need to retrieve your lid as well.
my lid.
Now, of course, Charmaine's working with the one-day specials. This is absolutely incredible. I just love the versatility of it. Charmaine's just been showing us yet another version. I've got to be careful with this one because it's got a lead attached to it. But look at this. This is like a glass lampshade that has been covered with those papers as well. Absolutely beautiful design. I have to ask Charmaine how she's done that in just a few moments. But the thing is, Charmaine has shown us so many different variations of ways of working with this as well. We've seen how you can stamp on it, how you can stitch on it, how you can die cut it, get it to form any shape that you like. In the same way as you would do with papier-mâché, you can spray this if you wanted to. Spray it with a kind of dilute adhesive solution, and you can mould it and it will stay in that particular shape that it's kept in. I love this idea with the butterflies here taking flight, as you can see. Simple artwork with this one as well. I mean, have a look at this. Taking simple pieces and teaming them up with other elements of nature that you've got. If you've got things like your fabulous kind of, oh, hold on, it's that way around, there you go. Your fabulous skeleton leaves, as you can see with this one, just enhancing and finishing off that design, as you can see there, absolutely beautifully. And then, of course, we had the piece of artwork behind me, which I'm sure you've seen, absolutely beautiful. But then we've got other pieces that show how you can show it off as well. Absolutely incredible. And it's the stitching that you can do with this that excites me the most. Making your own books, book binding, making your pages, your journals, stitching it into the bags that we saw earlier on. Absolutely phenomenal. And what an amazing price. You've got 30 sheets there for less than £30, £29.97. Absolutely phenomenal. And can I just show you this piece? This is absolutely amazing. Now, obviously, Charmaine mentioned how the last piece that we showed you got damaged in transit, but look at this. This is proper art, proper textile art. Building up those layers, using your Angelina fibres in there, using your relief pens, using your glazes, using things like your little micro beads in these, your flosses, your feathers, your little fibres. Everything comes together absolutely beautifully. It gives you the opportunity to be kind of like a textile artist with this, but without any fabric being involved. Absolutely beautiful. £29.97 being your price with regards to this particular set. I need to be careful how I put that one down. I don't want to break another one. So there we go. Put that there. Do not move. Details are on your screen. If you're wanting yours, 876639. That will get you all your fabulous papers. but it feels like we need a bit of bling going on here. Well, not a bit of bling, a lot of bling with this particular set. We've got 2 sets of these. Now, these are phenomenal value for money because you are getting 10 packs and you're paying just £9.99. So brilliant value, £25 saving. Now, you've got 940, was it 946? 946 pieces, yeah. You have, and that is not counting those numbers as kind of the breakdown of like if they're made up of 5 little gems. You can see, so the number 1, that's classed as 1 sticker, and the butterfly is 1 sticker. So you've got a lot of content within here. Of course, if you wanted to add birthday numbers, then you can do the beautiful butterflies there. These are stickers in their entirety, so it's not a case if you've got to transfer those individual stickers across. It is a case that they are all one piece. You can lay them down where you like. Some of them are kind of like on a gel strip, so if you're wanting to use them to adorn something like the vase that we've got here, it can go around something, around the circumference, around the neck of this vase, but then you've got individual elements that you can use to actually place down exactly where you want them to go. Absolutely beautiful, and you're getting 10 packs of those for just £9.99, 058294. Now, similarly, pack number 2 or set 2 is jam-packed full of content again with this one. So again, you've got loads. You've got your strips, you've got your letters with these ones as well. I've got a board for this one, and this time you've got to 1,588 pieces. There's a lot in this one as well. So again, you've got multicolours with these as well. So you've got those lovely subtle tones with these ones, which are quite raised. They've kind of got quite peaked elements. They're almost like really funky kind of rivets that you've got there. Then you've got AB content, the beautiful butterflies that you can see there. The beauty of the AB, especially the ones right over the far side, is when you twist and turn them and the light hits them, you get all sorts of different colours going on there. They're actually clear in some lights, but it's kind of that finishing that you've got as well. Now, some of the clear ones, like the AB ones or just the crystal ones, you can change the colour of those if you wanted to, using things like your alcohol markers as well, which I like the idea of because it gives you complete control with regards to these. And that also goes for the pearl detail that you've got on some of them as well. Absolutely beautiful. Then you've got the letters there. I mean, the letters, using those kind of signature letters or initials, should I say, on a handmade book would look absolutely amazing, wouldn't it, with those fabulous papers. So 058294, if you're wanting that set, then as I say, you've got over 1,500 pieces. Absolutely amazing, and you are loving these as well. So again, 058294 if you're wanting those. If you can stretch to both sets, then you certainly would make sense to do so because you've got so many elements in there. So yeah, definitely take advantage while you've got the chance. So Charmaine, what are you up to next?
Right, okay, my box went a bit peaked-on, so I'll dry that off. I'll dry that off later.
Okay, come back to it in a little
We can
while.
go back to it for another demo.
Okay.
So we put that one. So I've got the on the edge dies, and this is set number 2, and I'm just going to pop that in on the what's it called, handmade paper there. So I've got a long strip here, and I need that's him. And why did I put the handle round the other side? You.
Oh.
What did you do?
No,
What did you do that
okay.
for? Oh no, I can't. I have to.
You're right. Mind your hand though. Be careful.
What a plant pot. Right, we'll go that way. Come on, I have got the right boards in. Let me just check because I had other boards in. Want it? Right, you'll come out. You were for something else.
I suppose the thing is with the handmade papers as well, you get, looking at these, you've got a variety of thicknesses with them as well sometimes. Some of them are quite, almost like card.
Yeah, really, some of them are really, really thick, aren't they? So there is different thicknesses, and the advantage of having different thicknesses, well, it's like fabric, isn't it?
It's true.
There's advantages to that.
Yeah.
So the thinner ones, when you put the what's it called, embossing powder on, like clear embossing powder, they virtually go glass. In fact, I'm going to show you one in this demo. So I pulled this one out. Come on, go, go, go. And pop that out. Now I have got bits done, so just move that, and I'll chuck that one on the floor. Oh, bear with me.
Lovely. I've just just trying to pass things to me now. It's completely in a different world. So I was just thinking about I've got an embroidery machine at home, and because of the fabric that you've got, I think you could actually do like machine embroidery on this as well.
You can,
so you have loads of fun with it. I was supposed to be showing you these. So sorry. I was having a bit of a selfish moment then. Being inspired by Charmaine. So these are individual. So let me take you through these. Now these are the edging dies. In fact, I'm going to twist them around that way because it's a little bit easier for you to see all the content that you've got on there. So with these, you've got different sets. So this particular one, I think, is this the one that you just used, Charmaine?
Set number 2.
Yeah, so there you go. Set number 2, you're going to get 8 dies in there, not just your edges, but also you've got some fabulous little elements, as you can see there, coming through. So that is set number 2. Next one that you've got is this one, and I love this one. You've got those gorgeous, almost like fiery edges there. This one is set number 3. Again, you've got the wibbly wobbly line there, which again creates a fabulous edger with this one as well. And there's a lot of dies in this, 8 dies in total for £21.99, really good value. And of course, the whole story started with set number 1. And this is where you're seeing those flowers that Charmaine was showing us that she'd used within some of those designs earlier on. So if you're wanting the 12 dies in this particular set, then you're just going to be paying £21.99. So you will collect these as time goes on. So they are all on the website. So do check out the Dolly Dimples brand section at any time that you like. But whichever set you are going for, then do make sure you're checking your baskets out. And again, finishing on set number 1 there, £21.99. Now this is where you can see just how versatile these dies are.
So the on the edge dies is like a book. So you've got the long pieces. So I started off with long pieces, and I cut chunks off of them. Because the papers are so big, you can be frugal, or you can be as generous as you like.
Well,
and every little tiny bit is usable. So I've bended them over, and then I'll trim off sections. So when I put them in the die cut machine, I got the opposite end to that one, so I got the fancy shape. So that went to one side for another project, which will come later. This one, particular piece is a much thinner one. The majority that are in the pack are thicker.
Okay.
And then we've got this lovely yellow one here. And of course,
I love that one.
If you don't like the colours, spray it, ink it, distress it, stamp on it. So what we're going to do is I've got some characters, and I move this to one side a second. Oh, and I've got this one. Can I show you this?
Oh, what's this?
If I show you this one,
I've
stamped on it. And then I've used embossing powder all the way through, and can you see how transparent that is? Well, let's get something behind it that you can see. Well, if I have to put my glass behind it, can you see that?
It's almost like a stained glass window,
Yeah, you can see. No. I'm going to stay still. So you can see my little fingers?
Yeah.
So, and it is like a stained glass window.
So is that just clear embossing powder and a clear ink pad then?
Yeah, we'll do that in the
old
next
triple emboss kind of
thing. So imagine if you cut an aperture card in and you put your little pieces in like that, and you've got that effect. And those ones that seal up around, or if you've got dies to do it with.
Things like waxes as well, if you've got like a clear wax.
Well, to me, it reminds me of the washi tape. So if you wanted to do long pieces of the thin ones, if you do it on the thicker ones, you have to use a lot more embossing powder to get it to almost look clear. But it doesn't, but it looks double-sided, which is another project that we'll be doing later.
But you can see, obviously, with your pages that you're getting so many of them, I mean, creating something like Charmaine's sharing with us here, you'll be able to do it over and over again.
So yeah, of course you can. These are long pieces, so instead normally I use my die and put them in my things, but what I do is to run tape down here or glue, and glue one to the next, and then you've got a book which you can decorate up with the fancy edges. Does that make sense?
It does indeed.
And you can just keep going. I've got a black one in there, card in there to show me that I haven't die cut them yet, so that's where I'm going to stop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to decorate some pieces up so you can do it with your stamp. So what I've done here is this is a plain blue that is on here. Can I bring that in?
Oh, so you did a bit of paper piecing with it. Oh,
yeah, and then all I've done is kind of roughed up her legs. So I've stamped her legs on a separate piece of this, a tiny little piece. This is why I'm saying your slivers work. Yeah. So rough it up with some sandpaper, and it looks like roughed up jeans.
Yes.
So what we're going to do with her body is, I can't remember. Let's jump to another one, because I do have a top for her somewhere over here. Is I've done her hair. So we've done her hair, I've stamped her hair, and I've stamped it out of brown. I've roughed it up a little bit and taken a brown ink pad just to the surface of it, exactly the same as I did. Yeah, it's fairer. And then I've used some bling here. So let's get that on. So Donna is just going to have a little bit of glue.
Lovely. Now, Donna, obviously the paper that's been used for Donna's hair has come from the one-day special. The bling, we've got that fabulous bumper deal of bling, set 1 and set 2, $9.99, whichever you're choosing for those, but I'll show you them again in a few moments. But it's with this, I think what we're realising is that all those last little tiny pieces that you've got, Charmaine, after your larger projects, you're still using them.
Yeah, I mean, just little, I mean, you look at the sliver on her panties there, it's tiny.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double up her piece, but you see the tiny little amount of bling in her hair as if she's got a fancy hair. And then I got giddy because I decided that we'd have to have one there. But if you're not into colouring in hairs and things like that, then you can use these because they're very, very textural. What I'm doing now is I'm just going to put a little bit of silly glue on the top of this one and build her hair up so it's a little bit more three-dimensional. There we go.
Wonderful. Now time is ticking away.
I thought it was when I was looking at it.
Shall I leave you to carry on doing that and then come back to you in just a few moments if I do a quick recap? Is that okay? Because we need to give you a recap. We're literally down to the last few minutes of the hour. We will go back and see what Charmaine's created, so don't worry, we won't miss out on that. But I know that we've got lots of people just coming in at this stage with the one-day special, so it's just to reiterate what the deal is. We kicked this off roughly an hour ago, and what we've got is a phenomenal deal where you are getting absolutely loads of content within your one-day special. Now, a £60 saving is phenomenal. That's amazing. It's not often we get a one-day special with such a huge saving. But what you're looking at here is the opportunity to get hold of your sheets, and rather than paying £3, which is a good price for each one of these sheets because they are huge, you are actually paying £1 a sheet. They are massive sheets, as you can see here. So whether you're cutting them up and using them in your bookbinding scenarios, whether you're using them in your home decor, it's entirely up to you, but you've got a lot of content. You've got 30 sheets, you'll get 50 designs, 50 colours, 2 repeats of each of them. They might not be identical as we've got here, but what you are getting the same quality, but you are going to get 2 repeats of each of those 15 that you will receive. But over 40% of the stock has gone, and that's our initial hour, our first hour. And Charmaine's been showing us just how incredibly versatile these are. So, Charmaine, I mean, you're a lovely little lady there. Look how amazing she looks there. That glitter ball in the background. I
found a top. So a top is out of pink, and all I need to do is trim off, and she's got more of a close look. Does that make sense?
It does,
now,
yeah.
I kept this, so I've cut out her hair piece when I've done it. So I've kept it combined as 2 pieces because you can guarantee I'd lose that little bit. So when you pop that little piece in, you just stay there for a second and we trim away the other bit down there.
Now we'll probably have to come back to you on this one, Charmaine. We're down to the last 10 seconds.
Oh, can I show you the leather jacket?
Oh, quickly, yeah. Oh,
I'll explain
amazing.
that in the next hour.
Lovely, that's up with Yanis. Yeah. Don't forget your bling as well.